Welcome to the 2020 Virtual Advent Dinner, benefiting Samaritan Counseling. My name is Marlene Petro. I'm a volunteer here at Church of the Palms, and I'm also the president of the Samaritan Counseling Board of Directors. It has become a tradition here at Church of the Palms to await the birth of the Christ child by helping others during this Advent season. Our Advent dinner, featuring beautiful tables decorated by various hostesses, and the opportunity to gather together for a festive evening, provided Samaritan Counseling with funds to help those needing counseling services. That need has done nothing but increase during this year. We've seen a 30% increase in the number of sessions just this year as people navigate their new and confusing lives. The cost of the dinner last year was $45, and that's the amount that we must raise in order to say yes to each and every session. We're asking you today to help us help others during this season that's so difficult for so many. Donations can be made on the giving section of the Church of the Palms website or by sending a check to the church. 2020 has been an anomaly, but Samaritan counselors have continued to witness many transformations in the lives of their clients. Today, Pastor Steve McConnell from Church of the Palms and Reverend Rick Howell, the Executive Director of Samaritan Counseling, will discuss those transformations and what's ahead for Samaritan Counseling.
My name is Steve McConnell, and I'm one of the pastors here at Church of the Palms in Sarasota, Florida, and it is my joy to spend some time in conversation with my dear friend Rick Howell, and it has been my joy to work with Rick over the last 12 years, heavens, wherein we have been able to really benefit from the ministry of Samaritan Counseling and in our partnership, not only in supporting what they have been doing, but also we have benefited from so many people in our church being able to receive the support and ministry of Samaritan Counseling. But we are here in the campus center at Church of the Palms, where we customarily, annually, host the Advent dinner to support Samaritan Counseling. And I remember this place being so beautifully filled with decorations and folks here to support the ministry of Samaritan last year, but a lot has changed since last year. So we're grateful for technology and for the ability that we have to be able to have a conversation and give Rick an opportunity to share a little bit about the ministry that is going on at Samaritan these days.
It has been an interesting year. People who have heard me speak in the past know that we believe that as Samaritan grows, we are addressing about 2 to 3% of the need in our community for folks who want mental health services from a spiritually integrated treatment perspective. We were growing at a 20 to 30% pace for 20 years. And 2020 has not been any different. We are actually experiencing a 30% growth compared to last year. We saw as many sessions last year as we did through the middle of October this year. And we broke 1,000 sessions for the first time in the month of October. That growth is only possible because of the support that we receive through a variety of means, including Church of the Palms support for us. When we think about the increased need for mental health services, oftentimes in our community, we think about the tragedy of opioid overdoses, or the increase in homelessness, or increase in suicide. And while those changes are tragic, the reality is that the average person dealing with anxiety or depression or PTSD, those folks have experienced the pandemic kicking them from a tolerable situation into a I really need help kind of circumstance. It has made asking for help more acceptable, I think, for some. It costs us about $45 a session above what we collect from insurance companies or third-party payers. So there's a gap. For every session we see, we have to bridge that $45 gap. So when we go from 8,500 counseling sessions to 10,500 counseling sessions, that's 2,000 times 45, an additional $90,000 we have to raise in order to sustainably provide those services.
And I think of that $45 per counseling session through your client support program. I just see it as such a worthwhile investment to give people that opportunity to sit with a trained person who can help them to sort out the perspectives that they need for dealing with the anxieties or the issues that are going on in their life. And it's just been a joy, even as a pastor, to be able to send people knowing that not only through our general support, but even specifically providing support for them to be in conversation. I just think it's such a worthwhile, way to minister to them by encouraging that direction.
We certainly are glad you feel that way. We certainly are. We believe that we bring a professional skill set to the continuum of care that the church, Big C, and then Church of the Palms is trying to provide for the folks who reach out to us. Mm-hmm. There are times when people will say, I feel like I've become a burden to my friends. Mm-hmm. I feel like I lost my spouse 8 months ago, and I feel like I should be over it by now, and I should be beyond it. And so when I get together with my friends and I break down, I feel embarrassed, and like they're thinking, when am I going to get over it? And so going to a place where it's safe and the person's not having to wonder about how the counselor is feeling about them sharing their grief or anger or hurt. It feels like a safe place for them to do that kind of processing. When my daughter was in second grade, she came home from her first day of school, and I said, "Bree, how was your day?" And she said, "Good, bad, both." And I think that phrase has stayed with me, and I think it's even true for the COVID pandemic. We were beginning to train our therapists in telemental health prior to COVID. When COVID struck, all of a sudden everybody was doing teletherapy, and it became approved by the big players in the insurance industry. The technology allows us to connect with them in ways that distance prohibited. It is our #1 counseling location. We have 12 offices around the area, but our telehealth now is our #1 counseling location. The board, in a strategic planning process, has said that we want to really monitor how much we grow with how our funding matches that growth. We have been blessed for now 21 years, as you said, for that funding to keep pace. And we have a lot of dedicated people, a lot of dedicated volunteers. Our board of directors is very committed to helping provide the resources for us to continue to grow. Lots of unknowns have happened in the year of 2020, and there are some question marks for 2021. I did bring a Christmas card that I got in my box yesterday. It's from a client, but the person who signed the card did not sign their name. But they said, "Hello, Rick. and they gave their counselor's name, has been a wonderful therapist in the year plus that I have been her client. She has helped me tremendously with my issues, and they have improved due to her services. When I was let go from my job in the late fall of 2019, I had only question marks and uncertainties in front of me. I am so grateful that I had my counselor to walk with me through those question marks and uncertainties, help me to know that God was continually with me even during those times when I felt like God was very distant. I am very grateful for the work that I've been able to do with my counselor and for the financial assistance of the Client Assistance Fund. May God bless you and your team. Merry Christmas. We take in 8 to 10 new clients a day. And so this kind of card represents a lot of people who are unable to get the counseling that they need if it weren't for the financial assistance that we receive. On a regular basis, I'm asked by a counselor, hey, my client that I've been working with has lost her insurance. Her company is no longer providing insurance. Can Samaritan help bridge her between no insurance and whatever will be the next opportunity for her? It's a hard thing to hear a person's story and then have to tell them, I'm sorry, we can't reduce your fee and make it affordable. It's a glorious thing to be able to say, we can help you. We can help you without adding an additional financial burden to your already stressed financial situation. So when I get a request and I approve it, I'm often given some kind of an email or a letter saying, my client is so grateful that you have authorized this additional support. I'm so grateful that I'm able to continue working with this client even though her finances have deteriorated. And for me to trust that the good work is happening and that the funding just empowers that good work to continue as that person is in fact searching for hope or transformation in his or her life. I was talking with someone this week who felt like God was calling him to be a Bible study leader in his church, but he couldn't say yes because the thought of that just paralyzed him with anxiety. And yet his pastor had said, I believe you can do this. And he was saying to me, I can't do it because I get tongue-tied and I would just freeze up. And so to speak with that person and begin to help him figure out what's underneath that anxiety and that fear and that shame and empower him to kind of clear that stuff out so that he can then, in fact, be a Bible study leader and bless others. It's a really cool, meaningful journey to be involved in.
We are just so, as I said, so honored and privileged to be able to, as a church, walk alongside of Samaritan and cheer for you and support and encourage this ministry that's right there on the front lines, especially in a time like this. So we're delighted to hear those stories and rejoice in what God is able to do. So many people that come to me and say how much they have benefited from that. So well done. One more question. What do you plan to get me for Christmas this year?
I thought about that long and hard and decided that you were so selfless that you would rather me give myself something.
Wow.
And so I'm going
Good for you.
I'm going to buy myself a new street strider in your honor.
I think that's it.
I hope it was it before then.
We want to thank Steve and Rick for their conversation today and for the words of hope and love and compassion for our neighbors and for how Samaritan can help them. And thank you, our audience, for joining in on this conversation. If you can help with a donation of any amount, you will be helping Samaritan instill hope and transform lives. May the blessings, the many blessings that Christmas has to offer, be yours. Merry Christmas.